Welcome back to the show. This is Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. My name is Josh Lilquist, and we were just discussing really kind of twofold. How to have a plan in sports. Everybody knows that. It's football playoff season. But also how to have a plan in your finances. How to create that plan and have it specific for the strategy that you're looking to use, or really what you're looking to accomplish with the financial markets. Mm-hmm. Whether you want to create a retirement plan or a retirement strategy, it might be a little bit different than your income strategy. And we're going to discuss that here on this segment. And we talked about having a proper strategy to do that. Online Trading Academy has a core strategy that's designed to follow the institutions, which is supply and demand at its finest. When there's more buyers, price will go up. More sellers, price will go down. And it's designed to identify that so you can make smart investing decisions and trade with them, not against them. We had a lot of people texting into this free class that we do here locally. You can text the word investing to the number 210 for 2 seats for this class. But also, we've been having a lot of people want to essentially bypass this free class. So people that know that they want to get into the markets, they know they want to get in the financial markets, whether it's for an income strategy or a retirement strategy. We also have a 3-day deep dive into the financial markets. Typically, this class will be $200. For our radio listeners here today, if you call in right now, you can receive this 3-day deep dive into the financial markets for only $99. Now, what's covered in this class? What's covered is all the markets. You have stocks, options, futures, forex, income strategies, which we'll cover on this segment here, retirement strategies, whether you have 401ks and IRAs, but even income strategies during retirement, and that's kind of the title of the YouTube and the podcast here on this show here on this segment is having those different retirement income strategies. So if you know that you want to be a trader or an investor, or you know you want to get into the markets and just don't know how, we have this 3-day deep dive into the financial markets. You can call in right now. We'll make sure we answer and find a date that works best for you. We have these classes over the weekends and during the week, so we have pretty much availability for anybody. You can call right now. So get your phones ready. Call 952-814-4410. That's 952-814-4410, and that's for 2 seats, actually. Most people bring their spouse or a significant other. That way, especially if you do your own financial decisions together, might be a good 3 days to kind of spend together and see what your life could look like with proper investing decisions. So you can call right now for this 3-day deep dive. Mention when you call in you want the 3-day deep dive in the financial markets. Call 952-814-4410. Instead of $200, it's only $99 for you radio listeners today. So in that last segment, now I mentioned we did talk about that core strategy, which has steps within that to make smart investing and trading decisions. And we have a lot of listeners that want to have that income strategy, whether they're working, but also continue that income stream during retirement, because what stops when you retire? That income. JOB. So then you're just over broke. So what are some techniques that people can apply during the day or even in the evening to have an income strategy, so that way they don't have to either draw down their retirement accounts, or if they're still working, how to build them a little bit faster?
Yeah, well, there really is a difference in the way you use the markets for short-term income and long-term wealth. And unfortunately, most people are by financial advisors, put into a kind of a portfolio that is more geared towards long-term wealth, but not in the right way. But let's talk about short-term first. If you're talking about income, when you have a job and you get a paycheck, how often do you get your paycheck? Is it
every 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks,
maybe?
Maybe even once a month, but it's not once every 10 years or 20 years or 30 years. If you need income, and by the way, let's admit the fact that being alive is not free. There are costs to living.
Although people want to think it's free.
Well, and some people try to make it that way.
Yeah.
But it does cost money to stay alive. You have to eat. You have to have transportation. You have to have a place to live, and the costs for those are repeated. You get bills on a repeat basis that you have to cover to be able to stay alive. That comes from, for most people, income from a job, which you are getting paid every couple of weeks or every month, like we said. So if you need additional income, if the money from your job isn't enough to cover those bills, to have some fun, and enough money left over to fund your retirement portfolio, where do you get that extra income? For a lot of people, the advice you hear is, well, get a side job, get a second job, work overtime, cut back on things. Just don't go out for dinner.
Sounds pretty boring and pretty sad. Let's make this a happy show.
Well, exactly. That's what we want to do. You only have a limited amount of time in your life, and you want to make sure you take advantage of that. So how do you generate additional income without getting an additional job? There are assets and there are strategies that you can use that will help you do that, regardless of what's happening in these markets. If you're in a long-term portfolio right now, that typical buy and hold portfolio where you are told, just hold on, don't worry about these market crashes or corrections because the market comes back.
The kids call it hodl.
Okay. And that's a long-term, that's a one-direction long-term strategy. Mm-hmm. Well, this last year, if that's what you did, in the year 2022, you were probably down anywhere from 15 to 40% in your portfolio. What if that happened again? What if that happens this year or maybe in 2024? What kind of an impact would that have on you? We are seeing a market that is really impacted by inflation and the possibility of us going into a recession. That's really now where people are being concerned. The short-term income strategies that you use, one of the big advantages there, big benefits for you, is that you are taking a profit on a short-term time frame. So if you get into an investment, you are identifying the right strategy or using the right strategy to identify the right price to get into something. And by the way, the most important thing is not necessarily what the company is this the right time to invest in that particular company or that particular asset? And then when you have a profit, don't let the profit be taken away from you. Take that profit. Maybe, you get into a position, get out with a target, a profit target that's a realistic profit target, and we show you how to identify that and take that profit. That's money that should be in your pocket. And this is in this kind of market environment, using those short-term strategies not only will provide that extra income, but it's going to help you even in a longer-term portfolio. Using these short-term strategies in that portfolio will help you to build your wealth quicker.
Yeah, something really interesting there that people are probably listening right now, and you got to really think about it. Short-term income actually creates and builds long-term wealth. And that's really like a job. A job is really essentially short-term income unless you save some. And that's what people struggle with, is they don't make enough to save for that longer-term wealth, their 401ks and IRAs. So you need other sources, more than one source, rather than just one job. And that's kind of why we introduce these concepts to people, because they're not new, they're just a little bit different, and people have not seen how this works. And that's why we have this free class. We have this free class to introduce you to these different techniques and concepts. That way, if your goal is to have short-term income, what strategy might work best for you? So text the word investing right now for 2 seats for this class. It's a free class to introduce you to these income strategies with the markets. Text the word investing to the number 210 right now, and you're going to receive 2 seats. You'll get a text right back. Text the word investing to the number 210 right now. So as I mentioned, Al, short-term income builds long-term wealth. And we have a lot of listeners that are still working, or a lot of listeners, say if they're retired, like to play golf during the day. Mm-hmm. So you need a strategy that you can do both. A lot of people think that trading and investing has to be like a full 8-hour day job. Quite frankly, if you do it that way, you're probably doing it wrong because you're focusing too much on the screens. The key is to have your money work for you. And I want you to discuss a little bit here in a few minutes here about more of it's a short-term income strategy, but being able to do that and let it work for you. Essentially, they call it swing trading. Mm-hmm. Explain how that works so our listeners know you do not have to be glued to your computer all day long.
Yeah, there's different strategies, different styles of trading. People might have heard of people that are day traders. That's typically where you're buying and selling something in the same day. Swing trading is where you hold on to something for a little bit longer. It could be a number of days, maybe weeks or months or so. But it's that short-term type of investing strategy. And what you're going to find now is, and we talked about this, I think, last week, where Josh, you and I both get maybe 50 to 100 emails every day from financial companies. I'm getting text messages, probably 15 or 20 text messages at minimum every day from these companies that are talking about their strategy. The problem is a lot of these strategies depend on the market going a certain direction. And if you're biased towards a direction, say an upward direction in the market, your strategy only works in that upward direction, you're going to convince people that the market's going to go up. If your strategy only works in a down market or works better in a down market, you're going to convince people that we're going to have a down market. And you can find a lot of data out there that supports both directions. We don't have a bias as to direction. And if you really want to be successful, that's the attitude you need to take. Don't worry about what direction the market is going. Just worry about the fact, or concentrate on the fact that you can benefit regardless of which direction the market is going. And there are a lot of the big companies out there: Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, and they're all saying that we could potentially have another 20 to 30% drawdown in this market.
Ouch.
Some people saying we may be going through a decade where the market's going to essentially be flat. Are these accurate? I don't know. They're opinions. So those are people's opinions as to what could happen. But are they possible? It's possible. Is it possible the market could go up, and instead of being down another 20, 30%, it will be up 20 or 30%? Absolutely. But the key is to be prepared regardless of which direction it goes, so you can benefit. And unfortunately, the public kind of gets sucked into strategies by playing by rules set by those people that want you to follow the rules that give them the edge. What we want to do is help you to put that plan together where you set your own rules, giving you an edge over other traders, and that's part of that plan. This is your it's like your Bible, your trading Bible. This is what should tell you not only where you are now, but where you want to be in the future and how to get there, regardless of what direction the market's going.
Yeah, and that's really conditioning. People are conditioned to follow what the TV says. And if TV says to do all this stuff, and the public is, typically struggles to have enough for retirement and all that stuff, and they don't have enough income, well, do you think they're telling you what they want you to do? And that is a possibility that is there. Is it a guarantee? Nope. But that's why you need to prepare now for what's best for you, not what's best for opinions that you hear on online or on TV or the news or something. But Al mentioned a great comment there about having a strategy for any direction. And a lot of listeners, and I talk to a lot of people, and they say, I want to get in the market, but I'm just going to wait a little bit until the market starts to go back up. Mm-hmm. Well, why do that when there's strategies to profit in down markets? So it doesn't matter which way this market goes. You can have income strategies on top of your job, even if this market continues to go down. And we introduce you to all these concepts and techniques in this free investing class that we have here at the Academy. So you can text the word investing to the number 210 for 2 seats for this class to see how to profit in down markets, see what those strategies are, but also even strategies for sideways markets. There's ways to profit that way as well with different strategies. So text the word investing to the number 210 right now for that. That class is for anybody. We do have another 3-day class. It's a 3-day deep dive in the financial markets. And say if you're that person that doesn't necessarily want to come to a 2-hour class, you want to come strictly directly to a 3-day deep dive. You have 3 full days with Online Trading Academy and you want to be a trader. You want to be an investor. This class, it's normally $200 for you radio listeners here today. We're doing that for $99. So when you call in right now, you're going to receive 2 seats for a 3-day deep dive, and it's only $99 right here at the Academy. We're local. That way you can have a hands-on approach to the financial markets. You can call right now, so get your phones ready. If you're driving, you might want to pull over. I'll give you 1 second to do that. There you go. You can call 952-814-4410. That's 952-814-4410, and that's for 2 seats. So when you call in, mention you want the 3-day deep dive for $99. Al, coming up next, we're going to talk more about these income strategies during retirement, but I also want to get into, which we allude to every week, how to protect your portfolio and have strategies, even if this market does continue to go down, or as you said, maybe it's going to continue sideways. This is Josh and Al, Investing and Trading Live. We'll be right back.